Buenos dias from beautiful Matagalpa, Nicaragua. Welcome to another edition of Journeys of a Malcontent. Today's edition, Good Friday's Long Walk. I'm currently at the Airbnb. We're going to be doing about an 8-block walk over to the North Bus Terminal, and haven't been there yet, so that's a new one. And then we're going to be doing a from northeast to southwest crossover of the city down to the Southern Bus Terminal. Google Maps shows it to be about 2.5 kilometers each way, so I'll get my 5K out of the day. Word of warning, it is windy, so there will be some wind, and there's a little more activity out here today than there was yesterday. One of the funnies going along with this is due to everything being closed down for the 4-day weekend, the laundry service won't have clothes ready for me until Thursday. I don't have enough clean clothes to wear for the week. I was going to buy clothes yesterday. Everything shut down. So I am in full tourist attire. I am wearing shorts, something you always hear me laugh at about doing here. I don't have a lot of clean clothes left, so I'm in a tourist attire. I'm going to sweat, and we're going to get this thing going. So off we go. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit, and we are off. The dogs are awake, the wild parrots are awake. I hear some locals. Been a couple motorcycles today. Get this set up again. There we go. Out the door. Yeah, I'm even wearing a skull cap today. I'm tired of holding my hat on, and I've watched so many people lose their hats with the wind here. So, all right. Relatively quiet morning for the neighborhood, and off we go. Yep, it's a good thing I tied down the beard as well. Aloha. Oh yeah, YouTube. Say buenos dias from Matagalpa. Adiós.
Viva Nicaragua!
Viva! Viva Nicaragua! Por ahí. You're on it. Gracias. See, happy people. Happy people. Good boy. Little brave dog. A lot of chihuahuas here. Alright, first road, all's good. I was shocked yesterday. I wish I would have had the camera out for the ghost walk through Managua when 0 people on the road, 0 vehicles. I went down what is normally a major street. I walked 4 blocks in the middle of the road. Not one motorcycle, not one car. I was totally shocked. A lot of barber shops. It's good business here. There's some beautiful wind. It was supposed to be overcast for the next 3 hours, but the sun is out. And the mountains. Area. So if you remember in the previous video, this road was under complete construction just 2 weeks ago. They've completely repaved all these pavers by hand. I saw on this one block had to be at least 40 guys bringing in dirt, tearing the old ones out, leveling it, packing the new ones in by hand. No heavy equipment. Buenas. Alright, 1.5 blocks up this way and hang the half right. A little better angle on the road. Noticed on the map there's a shop up here a little ways up that I'll definitely be coming back to visit. There is a music store for equipment. Might have to buy an amp here. Alright, nobody coming, crossing the road. Yeah, this is beautiful work on these pavers. It's amazing what gets done without machines here. Yeah, so prime example, that's the kind of hills I've been avoiding. And I will give Google Map a little credit. They try to give you the mostly flat path, and that's kind of necessary, because if you saw the picture from the Stairway to Hell going to Quiro, it was a humbling set of steps. Buenas.
Buenos días.
Hora del Bus. Bus stop just doesn't tell you which bus. Oh, look at those mountains. Woohoo! Little dust storm. So that's one of the newer, smaller transit buses. They got a huge influx of them from China, and they parade them around when they get them. That one's a little older, but far greater than the chicken buses that everybody's heard of. Yes. Buenas. Look at these mountains, just absolutely gorgeous. I didn't think I was going to be going downhill. I thought this was going to be all uphill. All right. Yeah, stairs like between those two rows of buildings. If you've ever seen those pictures of the barrios in Rio, this is a tame version compared to what they have. And I'm always amazed that people can get furniture and stuff up and down these hills. Buenos días. Buenas. Sukarni Butcher Shop. Tienda Clothing. Did not have that one on my list. A lot more people out than yesterday, and this has been a lot. This is a busier merchant area of the city. This would be bustling with people on a normal weekday, but not today. Watch my step. you've heard me here in the other videos, lots of farmacia, your pharmacies. If you go to PriceSmart, the equivalent to Costco, there is no pharmacy section. To my understanding, if you go to the Walmarts in Managua, same thing, there's no actual pharmacy section because they're on every street corner. In fact, there'll be multiple ones on every street corner. All right, merchants are open. Produce, fresh local produce. Everything over here probably picked within 72 hours, 48 hours, and all grown within 15 miles. Got buses. That was the bus, but they had the gate closed, which is kind of strange. Yeah. All right, so I'm assuming the buses are not running on Good Friday, but this is the northern bus stop. These are your infamous chicken buses, individually operated, have the owner or operator's name on them. They have a standard route that they do. They decorate their buses the way they see fit. There's little LED strobe lights like the party buses of Panama. Have not rode on them. I fixed one back in 2010 when we were coming back to the airport with my Perdomo tour. I was the MacGyver. I fixed a broken radiator hose with chewing gum, duct tape, a pen knife, and a t-shirt. I'll go into detail on that in another video, but yeah, I was officially listed the Maestro Mechanica for Perdomo cigars. I was invited to come down and work on buses anytime. It was my first trip down here. It was such a memorable, positive, funny, unique experience that it left a lasting impression, and I'd wanted to come back for years, and it took over 12 years to get back here. But yeah, this would be the northern bus route. So since they are closed, I'm gonna turn around and we're gonna start doing the long haul to the southern. So with that being said, as soon as I can safely cross the road, which looks like now. Luminas. Bienvenidos, Terminal de Transporte Norte a la Quita de Matagalpa. That's as good a translation as I can give today. No, gracias. Eskimo ice cream, made with Crisco. All right, that smells great. Went to the store yesterday. I found one of the Poly store, which is the locally owned Walmart grocery. Looks like a Save-A-Lot. It's very simple, utilitarian, just the basics. Picked up some lunch meat, some cheese, some tortillas, and picked up some dried hibiscus flower, the Yamaka tea. Didn't realize it was so healthy, and yet when I looked at the packaging, yet another agricultural product produced in this departamento. Really loving the 10-mile diet when I get to the grocery store and find out most of the stuff I'm buying is from within 20 miles of here. You know, you can tell the buses use this area a lot. They need to repair this road some. Oh boy, the advertisement trucks with the giant speakers. Buenos días. Yep, speaker truck. Look at that road. Again, if you've been to San Francisco, these roads are similar to San Francisco. Yeah, we'll record this walk. Yep.
Gloria y Judith, todos andarán, tus nietos y demás familiares, tu cuerpo será velado en la siguiente dirección: Iglesia Sinaí, visita Antiguo Ins, media cuadra al norte, Matagalpa, punto de controlación a las 3 de la tarde y a continuación sus funerales en...
It's almost easier to stay in the road than it is to try to use the crazy sidewalks.
La familia de Oriente le quedará eternamente agradecido.
This is my new barrio. When I get moved into the new apartment, this is kind of like your township. There's residencias, barrios, your department. There's a whole lineup of different ways to identify micro communities within the community. But yep, I will be Barrio Guanuca. Make sure he's not going right. Yep. And nobody coming from behind. Good. So once again, that's a nice simple drop. That's a little heavier height. Oh boy, they're following. I literally had one of these guys stay and pace with me for about 3 blocks on a prior video. Could not get him out of sound check. And even when I stopped at the road, they stopped at the intersection and waited for me to catch up. And I was like, I just had to block out the audio. Ah, maybe they'll pass.
Media cuadra al norte, Matagalpa, punto de conservación a las 3 de la tarde y a continuación sus funerales en el cementerio municipal. Por su asistencia y diferentes muestras de condolencias, la familia doliente les quedará eternamente agradecida.
That's my road. And now we continue to go south, which we are in the north. Oh, they turned. What a beautiful thing. City worker on Good Friday. I see these folks in the orange jackets when they're doing cleanup, particularly in the parks. They pick up the smallest piece of garbage. Buenas. In a country where jobs, 50% unemployment, jobs are scarce. If you're willing to work, it's hard to find a job. And then if you're willing to work and you found a job, you work at keeping the job. At least most do. So there's a lot of pride and effort. Rio Grande. Alright, cleared across. Alright. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Rio Grande. All right. That is the hill that I went up the steps to get to the restaurant. Well, came down from the restaurant. When I went up to the restaurant, I did this long way. Went up this road and around the corner and up a steep road. Thinking I was going to be clever. Thinking that Google was wrong. No, the steps was the simplest way. Oh, he's turning back around. I'm gonna have the speaker car following me. Yep.
Iglesia Sinaí, que cita antiguo y media cuadra al norte, Matagalpa. Punto de continuación a las 3 de la tarde.
There's a nice shot. The cathedral. You can see the observation point up on the mountain. Got to go back to that. I haven't been there for 2.5 years. Saw these houses on the prior video. One more block and we hang a right. Monte Brisa, I'm not sure what that is. I'm thinking it's a private school, but I don't know. Porque mi cuido mi ambiente, las transformación social, empieza y Camigo. Yeah. Camigo. I will have to translate that later. I caught half of it. All right. So again, I've been on this road a couple times. This block here, it's one of the more direct routes from the apartment. And this one we're going to hang a right and pretty much go due west to the river. Because there's no reason to go up that hill to go back down that hill. There we go. Barberia. I walk by these guys and they're all open door and they'll look over and they see my beard and I cover it. I'm like, Nonka, Nonka. And they all get a chuckle out of it. Nothing wrong with acting the fool. Kid curled up in the corner over there sleeping. Unfortunate. I love this house. Just a sprawl across. I'm assuming there's an office and a home and probably a rental out of all that, but just one flow, a couple garages. And the ice cream shop, Eskimo, at a DSA Especial. So again, Eskimo ice cream is a brand from Nicaragua. It originated here. It had a trade-off with the original ownership, from what I understand. But to help make it a little more shelf-stable in the heat, a lot like an ice milk, they don't use either at all or much less natural cream, and they use vegetable shortening, Crisco. Now, this house, I pass every time I see it. I just absolutely love this yard. There's the little drainage canals for the water. They meticulously manage it. I mean, this is the dry season, so it's not, you're not going to appreciate it as much. I will get pictures of it once the rain starts coming in full force. But all these little troughs for the irrigation, just absolutely gorgeous home that they maintain. All right. We have the two bars from Woods. We have Woods Lounge Bar, and right to the next of it is the Woods Patio. And in between you got the Artesianos Cafe Bar. So Woods Lounge is the very young disco I went to, where I said I was the oldest person in the building. And El Patio by Woods is where I went, where the band did over an hour and a half warm up, one song, and broke for dinner. Both times I didn't remember my earplugs, and that's a mistake because both of them were hitting 110 decibels. You know, not good for prolonged seated. All right, dumpsters, something you don't see here very often. And appropriately, they are locked, so people don't, you know, climb in them, sleep in them, dump their garbage in them. All right, we are coming up on Avenida de Bancos, which is the Avenue of Banks, because most of the banks are on this road. Parts of this road were blocked off on Tuesday and Monday for events for Semana Santa. You can see Brooklyn Cafe right there on the, technically the third floor. And that's Band Pro. Right in front is the ATM I use more often than not. So you don't have an ATM on every little corner. They are normally attached to a building that has a bank. A lot of locals stand in long lines to use the banks. Less people stand in line to use the ATM. So through that door right there, it's basically like the equivalent to a large phone booth with two ATMs in it. And people wait their turn to use it. For those that don't remember the information on the financials, so Nicaragua is a dual currency country. They use the American dollar, they use the Nicaraguan Cordoba. It is interchangeable. In almost all situations, you can use either currency. Many times the bill or receipt for a service or goods has got both dollar amount and quarter amount on it. There's a few things with the government, you either have to do one or the other. Buen día. You've heard me mention La Colonia. La Colonia is the higher end supermarket chain in Nicaragua. For those from Florida, think Publix. I actually prefer the Super Estrella. Super Estrella is similar but different. Think along the lines of the old cash and carry. Left to the right, clear. Alright, oops. Now there is, in the yellow, there's an actual footbridge to go over the river. Which we are not doing. We're going to be hanging a left here, and we're going to pretty much shadow the river. De las impresoras. Get my enunciation down. My tutor will be laughing if she watches these videos. Yeah, my mission this weekend is still conjugating verbs, which is driving me nuts. So if you know anything about Spanish, obviously it's a Latin-derived language. I do far better with the reading than I do the listening. That's why I focus on listening for so long, trying to pick up not just the pronunciation in Spanish, but pick up the pronunciation in the local Spanish, the local idiom. And that's been the hard part. Well, reading, because so many of the words have a Latin root to them, I'm able to comprehend far better from the reading of the Spanish. But when you get to conjugating verbs, it's like learning actual Latin. So you'll have a word which is an action, the verb, like to read, and then you change the spelling for I read, you change the spelling for you read, you change the spelling for he, she, they, plural male, plural female. So you've got like 8 variations of a word depending on the noun pronoun, which will then affect which adjectives you use. And that's the part I'm struggling on. So it is what it is. En tiempo, in time, poco a poco, little by little, I'll get there. But beyond posting, creating this video and uploading and editing, the rest of this weekend is studying. Since there's no businesses open and I can't do any clothes shopping, food shopping, or meals. Nothing behind me, nothing to the left. He's not going out. Big hole to fall in. Crossing the road. So you have a river walk. It's not glamorous. It'll look far better once there's actual water flow. Actually, that's more water flow than we had 2 weeks ago. So we're not in the rainy season yet. There's still, and there's less trash floating than there was. So the little bit of rain we've been getting is helping. This will get full, a little fuller. And again, we'll have future videos on that. Here's our cascades. See some shoes down there. This area is partially lit up at night. It's kind of nice. Some people would. Well, I'm bringing you this interruption because the GoPro, during the first 1 hour of the walk, decided to shut down at 35 minutes. So what you're not going to see is the additional 4 minutes until we got to the bus terminal, which is closed, the immediate surrounding shopping area, which is much like the one in the north. There were a few produce stands open, but a whole new region of the town on the southwest end that I had not visited before. 99% of everything was shut down. There weren't a lot of people in public, but I did get to travel through some new area. That is not included in this video. For some unknown reason, the GoPro, for those that have any knowledge of how GoPros work, the red flashing LED in the front to let you know that it's filming was still flashing. There was no audio alert. There was no pop-up video on the screen to let me know something was happening. There was no alert about it being overheated or anything to that nature. And at the end of the 1 hour video, I returned to Parque Ruben Dario, where I stop in the mornings before I go to Spanish lessons. And that's where I sat in the shade. I swapped out batteries because I knew it was going to be low. When I turned it, when I went to the back and touched the back screen, which popped up instantly, meaning it was still powered on, it showed 3% left in the battery. There was still a charge in the battery. And by touching the touch screen, it came back on. So the light's flashing, telling me it's recording, but it stopped recording at 35 minutes. So there's 25 minutes of today's video, not included. Thank you, GoPro. Not the first, second, or third time this has happened. I'm not very happy with them. On a cooler day when I have other things to do, I'm going to be writing them a nasty gram because I keep the software updated. I don't know what the problem is. There was no indication that it stopped filming because it was still powered on, and it had an indicator saying it was still filming. So I don't know what happened. So what you're going to see next is the video from Parque Ruben Dario, where, again, I'm there in the mornings before Spanish class, returning back to the apartment. And I decided to go through Parque Morazan, the central park next to the cathedral, looking for any place that might have coffee and or breakfast. Lo and behold, I did find breakfast. Because of copyrighted music and children in the area, both are no-nos for YouTube. I stopped filming for breakfast, but you see the location before and after, and then the final walk back to the apartment, which is only about 8 blocks in. So, sorry to disappoint. If it's an error on my part, I'll own it. I can't see how it's an error on my part because, again, there was no indicators that anything was happening other than what it was supposed to be doing. And these aren't professional level cameras for, these are action cameras. These are designed to be mounted on bicycles and people sledding and extreme sports and surfing, and they're not complicated pieces of equipment. You can get lost in the weeds of the technology of how to edit, but there's only a few buttons to be pushed. So don't know what happened. That's my answer. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Again, if you're finding these entertaining or informational, hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Audio. Alrighty, batteries are swapped out. Camera's cooled off. We are in Parque Ruben Dario. I'm going to head back and pretty much do the walk I do most days from school. And I'm gonna get it. Nope, wow, I can cross the road. Let's get that set up a little better. Alright. Let's see. They're not open. maybe with any luck on the way back, I'll see some stuff open.
Parado y nosotros sentados jugando el día hacia güey, mirá.
Matagalpa tours. That's where I do my class. And I was pointing this out with the video. This is how people take care of the local animals. And the wind is picking up. What a beautiful day. All right. Little puppy. It's open. They don't look very open. You've seen open signs on closed businesses. Oh, maybe so. Subway might be open. I might be coming back to Subway. Why not? And the main road. Yep. Little bikes with no muffler. So this is one of the main streets. This is Avenida de Bancos. This is normally really busy. They had a couple tents set up on the road earlier in the week for events. Good Friday services at the local church. Here's a beautiful church. Why not? All right. I'm gonna cross while I can. So Yesterday, these guys rooftop were taking all the old ceramic rounded tiles off the top, and today they've already got the new wood framing going up. Same 4 guys and a supervisor across the street. Bueno. Alright. One of my favorite restaurants, Rica Azteca. Great, simple Mexican food. Good value. I love the apartments above. That's wild. Beautiful. A lot more traffic than yesterday. And yet this is nothing in comparison to a normal weekday. Theater.
Tránsito, ese es parejo también, ahí veo bastante el tránsito también. My attorney's office, which shameless promotion. Oficina de Elias, Javier Asociados, license Pablo Iran Chavarez, license Cesar Augusto Chavara H, obligados y notorios públicos, asesoría civil, Pino, Lebo, familia, en Precia, en estudios en general. Excuse me. Good guy. He's really showing that I lucked out finding him. Panderia de Villain, where I get my Naka tamales. They are not open today. Lunes 14, March 15. April the 25, attention on 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Macaulay 16, April off the Gustos, Rodemeros, Newfield, Solution on 21st. Wow. All right. Yep. All right, so that's done. Dandy. Mossy open. And Brooklyn is not open. Puppy. Alright. gonna do the walk to Parque Morazan. You guys have seen this one a couple times. It was the one I was hanging out with in the most first 3 weeks. It is the central park. You would say Parque Rubendario is definitely the south central. Buenas.
Hey.
Sáquenle, güey. Buenas.
¿Qué onda? Vení a Veracruz.
Cámbiame los pitos.
Is open. All right. Let's see if Lico is open. They are open. All right. I'm stopping for breakfast. Alrighty, desayuno completo. Oh, I dropped my wind guard again. Keep on dropping the wind guard. There we go. And perfecto. Alrighty. Mission accomplished. I got food. Would have had video, but they had copyrighted music on, and there was children. So both of those are no-goes with YouTube. So we're all of about maybe 6 blocks from the apartment. Quick trip back. Over 90 minutes of walking video. Looks like the city's starting to wake up a little bit on Good Friday. Knees are a little sore. Of course, that's what happens when one's titanium and the other one's plastic. I'll walk across. This one's actually got a pretty famous picture. Universidad Nacional Padre Gaspar García la Vieja. Sin cui participación de la gobierno y revolución recinto Matagalpa, Sierra Matagalpa. Very famous photo of the woman revolutionary. Had nothing afterwards. And it's kind of the image that they shouldn't forget the people. Much like in the US, don't forget our veterans. We've seen how that's worked out. It's turned into a national campaign of thank you for your service, right between Gesundheit and God bless you. And people feel better about saying it, but they don't actually take actions to make it happen. Buenas. Buenas. No matter what I wear for headgear, I get a salute. I get called Soldado, General, Comandante. I get called them all. Doesn't matter if I'm wearing a boonie hat, a ball cap. Right now I'm wearing a do-rag. But I get a lot of salutes. That's a road I'm not walking up. Alright, my landmark, Reese's Hotel. Semana Santa. Metros Este Reese's Hotel. $60 meters east of the hotel. A better landmark for the address. Since this address where I'm staying, it's like a 15-word description. Verde Portilla. And Frequentemente Casa. Block 1. Alrighty. First thing we do, we open the windows, get the fresh air in. Alright. Turn the light. Well, that's it, folks. I want to thank you for spending an hour and a half plus watching me walk around this town, do some sightseeing. Again, I want to thank subscribers and viewers. If you're liking these videos, whether it's entertainment, whether it's educational, whether you had nothing better to do on Good Friday, please hit a like button, hit a subscribe, share it with friends. Let people know this is what Nicaragua looks like. Again, I'm not getting paid to do this. I don't have an agenda other than just providing valid observation at the time. So
With that, I wish you well for Good Friday, your Easter weekend, and adios.